Okay, another. This one I think is actually very funny because I was so betrayed. So all right, the first big LAN in USA, right, was the Game Fix Million Man LAN in Kentucky. Okay, the USA Broodwar was like booming in 2002. Okay, like people were foaming for a tournament, like a big tournament. They're foaming at the mouth for that. So the Game Fix LAN comes around, and the thing is, this is 2002, guys. Almost nobody has a camera that can upload to the internet, so no one has any idea what everyone else looks like. No one has any idea. There's like no fucking pictures online. There's so few. There's like, from that area you can find.
Donated $3.33. Did you trash talk Hovs after he beat up Nextel?
No. Anyways, so everyone basically when this event was announced, it was like 1.5K for first place, and it paid out like 20 places or something, like small amounts. Anyways, all the top USA players were like, okay, we're fucking going to this. So yeah, it's in Kentucky, and my best bud at the time was Asem, who was he eventually joined a Korean pro team and stuff. Very strong foreign player. Very, very strong. Definitely, we were two of the best Terrans in America back then, too, in 2002. Yeah, it was in Louisville, Kentucky. So, anyways, we pool our money together to get a hotel room. So we meet up, which was really cool because, like, I have to tell my mom at that point, right? I was still in high school in 2002, and I had to tell my mom, like, yes, I'm flying to Kentucky, and I'm rooming with a guy I met on the internet. Which my mom was just totally not interested in. She thought that was fucking weird in 2002 because she had read all these things about internet predators or seen him on 60 Minutes and shit. 60 Minutes. This fucking show thought it was so cutting edge, but those assholes really ruined things for people like me. Anyways, so I went and met up with a guy on the internet in 2002 in Kentucky. Anyway, so we went out and ate, right? And we got to our hotel, and so the next day we go to where we think it is, and like the
Teddy Ryan cheered. X300, those sexual predators really ruin things for guys like me. Artosis.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, so we went and started looking for the LAN, and apparently you could find multiple addresses for the LAN online, and like they had the address that the LAN was at the previous year, because this was like a recurring LAN, the Million Man LAN in Kentucky. So we actually went to the wrong place first, and we were just fucking wandering around. We're like, what the fuck? Like, we can't find this. And so eventually we found like a security guard that it was at like we were at a university.
Telling your first kiss story.
I'm not. Okay, so we find like a security guard that works there, and we're like, hey, this Million Man LAN thing, like we can't find it. It said it was going to be like here, and this is like empty. And she was like, oh, I saw something about that. Like, she heard it on the radio or saw it on the news or something that it was happening. So she gave us the actual address. It was like some convention center, you know, not too far away, but I think we jumped in a cab or whatever. And so we go there, right? And it's a LAN where you can bring your own PC, but the tournaments, the official tournaments, like the Starcraft one, had PCs. So, like, for instance, he and I didn't bring PCs. We were just going to play on them there. But there was a decent amount of players that brought their PCs there. And so we're like, hey, there's a ton of people here playing. It's like a lot of Counter-Strike, but there's a decent amount of StarCraft being played there too. And he's like, all right, let's go walk around, see what we can find. And now this was Sem's idea. He said, let's not tell anyone who we are. Let's not tell them, right? Because like we were known players and stuff, but no one knows what we look like, so we can just have it kind of be a surprise that we're there playing. And in fact, some people even entered like under Smurfs and shit. It was like pretty funny, because no one knew, so you could kind of surprise people, and everyone knew each other online, so you would kind of know how people play. Anyways, So we start walking around and we start running in to Starcraft players, and we went over and like Jester and Sindred were there, and they were like generation 0 for good Starcraft players in America. Like they literally, like the first year they were winning all the tournaments, like 1999 or some shit. So they were still pretty good, but they weren't like top USA. They weren't like players that could possibly win the tournament, right? Anyways, so we see them and we're standing there watching, and like as they finish the game, they turn around and actually I think we knew what they looked like because they had been to enough tournaments. This was Broodwar. It was 2002. Anyways, so they had been to enough turns. I think we knew what they looked like, but I can't remember exactly. Anyways, they introduced themselves. They're like, "Oh, hey, you StarCraft players?" And we're like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Oh, hey, I'm Jester. Hey, I'm Sindred." Right? They're like, "Who are you?" And I go, "We're not telling you." Because fucking Asem had told me, and I was such a fucking cringe nerd. And they just looked at me. They were like, "What the fuck? That's so weird." Like, you could see that was what they were thinking. And then Asem is like, "I'm Asem, what's up?" And I'm like, I have been so completely betrayed at this point. This was his fucking idea not to tell anyone. So then, of course, I told him I'm Artosis, but like, dude, I still cringe thinking about the fucking looks on their faces and the fact that I was immediately betrayed because Asem had more social know-how and knew that it was fucking weird to not tell him what IDs we were. God damn. Yeah, that was 19 years ago that happened.